Have you ever heard of the phrase snow in Russia? It's often used to describe something completely obvious, something that's a given. But what if I told you that by 2026, the idea of snow in Russia might not be as certain as we think? This isn't just a random prediction. It's a potential reality driven by complex climate patterns that are reshaping our world. Today, we're diving deep into the science, the data, and the stories behind one of the most surprising climate shifts of our time: the changing face of Russian winters. Let's start with a picture we all have in our minds. Russia, a vast land covered in a thick blanket of pristine white snow. From the fairy tale onion domes of Moscow's Red Square dusted in white to the endless, frozen expanses of Siberia. Snow is intrinsically linked to the Russian identity, its culture, and even its history. Think of Napoleon's retreat, or the defense of Stalingrad. The infamous General Winter played a decisive role. This deep, enduring cold has shaped everything from Russian literature and music to the very architecture of its cities. But what if this cornerstone of Russian life is becoming less reliable? Scientists have been tracking global temperature changes for decades, and the trends are unmistakable. The Arctic is warming at a rate 2 to 3 times faster than the rest of the planet, a phenomenon known as Arctic amplification. And guess what? A huge part of Russia lies within or is heavily influenced by the Arctic Circle. This rapid warming doesn't just mean a few milder days. It fundamentally disrupts the atmospheric patterns that have governed the region's climate for millennia. One of the key players here is the polar vortex, a large area of low pressure and cold air surrounding the Earth's poles. A strong, stable polar vortex keeps that frigid air locked up in the Arctic. However, as the Arctic warms, the temperature difference between the pole and the mid-latitudes decreases. This can weaken the polar jet stream, the fast-flowing river of air that acts as a fence for the cold. A weaker, wavier jet stream allows cold air to spill southwards in some places, causing extreme cold snaps. But it also allows warmer, moist air to push further north into regions like Siberia and European Russia. So, how does this translate to snow? It's a bit of a paradox. You might think warmer weather automatically means less snow, and in the long run, that's generally true. But in the short term, especially in a transition period like the one we're in now, the situation is more complicated. For snow to form, you need 2 things: temperatures at or below freezing, and moisture. A slightly warmer atmosphere can hold more moisture. This means that if the temperature is hovering right around the freezing point, we could see an increase in heavy, wet snowfall events. Instead of the light, fluffy powder characteristic of deep freezes, Russia might experience more disruptive, slushy snowstorms. We're already seeing this happen. Recent years have seen record-breaking snowfalls in cities like Moscow, paralyzing infrastructure, but these events are often followed by unusually rapid thaws. This weather whiplash is becoming the new normal. So, what are the predictions for 2026 specifically? Climate modeling is incredibly complex, but the general consensus points towards increasing volatility. While it's impossible to say with certainty that on a specific day in January 2026 it won't be snowing in Moscow, the models project a continued trend of above-average winter temperatures for the majority of Russia. The snow season, the period where snow cover is consistent, is expected to shrink. Snow might arrive later in the autumn and melt earlier in the spring. This has huge implications. Let's talk about permafrost. A vast portion of Russia is built on permafrost, which is ground that has been frozen for at least 2 years straight. This frozen ground is the foundation for cities, pipelines, and roads. A consistent snow cover acts as an insulating blanket, protecting the permafrost from temperature fluctuations. Less snow, or snow that comes and goes, means the ground is more exposed. The resulting thaw is already causing buildings to crack, roads to buckle, and creating what are known as drunken forests, where trees tilt at bizarre angles as the ground beneath them shifts. By 2026, the rate of this thaw could accelerate, posing a multi-billion-dollar threat to Russian infrastructure. The impact on agriculture is another critical piece of the puzzle. The winter snowpack is a vital natural reservoir. It melts slowly in the spring, recharging rivers and providing essential moisture for the soil, just in time for the growing season. A diminished or rapidly melting snowpack can lead to 2 problems. Spring floods, followed by summer droughts. This threatens the breadbasket regions of southern Russia, which are crucial for global grain supplies. Farmers are facing a future where the predictable rhythms of the seasons they've relied on for generations are no longer a guarantee. And what about the ecosystem? The Russian taiga, the world's largest terrestrial biome, is finely tuned to its snowy climate. Animals, like the snowshoe hare and the stoat, have evolved to change their coat color to white in winter, to camouflage from predators. What happens when the snow disappears but their coats still turn white? They become easy targets. The entire food web, from the smallest lemmings burrowing under the snow to the polar bears hunting on the sea ice, is being thrown into disarray. The cultural impact is just as profound. Winter sports like cross-country skiing and ice hockey are a way of life for millions of Russians. Communities celebrate winter with ice sculpture festivals and traditional holidays centered around the snow and ice. As winters become milder and less predictable, these traditions are threatened. Imagine a Russian winter without the crunch of snow underfoot, without the glistening ice on the rivers. It's a fundamental change to the nation's soul. So when we talk about snow in Russia 2026, we're not making a single definitive weather forecast. We're talking about a trend, a trajectory. The data suggests that the winters will continue to get warmer, the weather more erratic, and the reliable deep snow cover of the past will become less common. We'll likely see more of these heavy, wet snow events, more rapid thaws, and a shorter snow season overall. This isn't a distant, abstract problem for the end of the century. The changes are happening now, and the consequences by 2026 will be felt across Russia's economy, its infrastructure, and its very culture. The once obvious fact of snow in Russia is becoming a question mark, a powerful symbol of our planet's rapid transformation. It is a reminder that even the most seemingly permanent features of our world are subject to change, and that understanding these changes is the first step toward adapting to the future. Thank you so much for joining me on this deep dive into Russia's changing winters. It's a complex topic with far-reaching consequences. What are your thoughts on this? Have you noticed changes in winter patterns where you live? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more explorations of our changing world. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next video. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next one.